I'm out here today to help kids learn about what it's like to live an aviation lifestyle.
Being a pilot was something that I always wanted to do. I just didn't know how to pursue that avenue because no one came to my school and taught me how. And it wasn't a lack of education, it was just a lack of exposure. I didn't know how to enter this field or where to start. And so that's why I think events like this are really important, because students are able to get access and see like what it takes, and just say at the end of the day, I was exposed. I know what it takes to be a flight attendant or a pilot, or I know what it takes to be an air traffic controller or an engineer. This is kind of where it starts, to where they put that seed into their mind, and it may grow and they may just say, hey, I don't want to do it, but at least they saw it.
Today we have young people being introduced to jets and being taken out on a jet and having that explained to them on how they fly and the operations from the cockpit. We have drones here, we have flight simulators, and we also have robotics program that's here with one of the other organizations. And the whole goal is to expose them to all aspects of aviation, space, and aerospace.
I'm a drone enthusiast, which is an unmanned aerial vehicle. We speak about aviation, and knowing that there's a lack of aviators when it comes to airline pilots, we want to influence our students in another way, and we look at drones as a way to influence them to get into the cockpits of airplanes so that we can, alleviate some of this deficit with our lack of pilots. We're losing all of our pilots, they're retiring, so we need new airline pilots. So we're just hoping we can help fill some of that void.
Porpoise Robotics is an unmanned vehicle systems program that's integrated for STEM education for middle, high school, and college students. We concentrate on ground vehicles, they're four-wheel drive, joystick-controlled vehicles. We also do remotely operated undersea vehicles. They are joystick-operated, connected via 150-foot fiber optic tether. They are all a great learning tool. We program the ground vehicles in C, we program the underwater vehicle in Python. We show the math and science from the vehicles. We show examples of programs, they modify programs, they operate them in the real world, and for the first time in their life, they're seeing math and science operate in the real world. It really inspires you to go on and continue to learn math and science.
This is my first time actually being at a Shades of Blue event, so I think it's just really cool just exposing the kids to aviation, because some kids have never been on an airplane, or even they just probably think of just airplanes when they hear aviation, but it's way more in depth than that. It's a whole team of people, and I just think it's good just to expose them and give them more opportunities in career choices.
So I think it is important because, like this event, we were talking about that there's so many jobs in United. You can be a lawyer, you can be a nurse, doctor, pilot, customer service agent, senior staff rep. There's so many different jobs in United. I don't think that they even realize that, and how like Shade of Blue is easy. Makes their easier way to be a pilot or something. They can get involved and advance their career.
My daughter came home from her a couple weeks before she graduated from high school, just like many of you, and she said, Dad, I think I want to fly airplanes. And now she's an airline pilot at the age of 23. Never thought of that in her entire life. Even though her dad was a pilot his whole life, she didn't think of being an airline pilot. So the takeaway is, keep your options open. When you're here today, look at all the things that you can do that don't have to be just flying airplanes or flight attendant or mechanic. Keep your options open, be a good student and a good person, and you can do whatever you want. So with that, our in-flight partners, Christina.
I think it gives them an opportunity, kind of like a peek behind the curtain. I mean, you can be a kid and be interested in aviation, but I think there's so many opportunities within the field that you're not unaware of as a regular passenger. And coming here and having that hands-on experience, I think, is like exciting, encouraging, and also inspiring. So again, it's just not a pilot and flight attendant. I think there's more roles that meets the eye when you finally come here and you're able to experience it here.
I think being a flight attendant is probably one of the most important positions in like just making someone's travel better. The flight attendant is the first person they see when they get on the plane, so we get to set the tone. When you get past the fears of flying, there's a lot of fears, but then when I remember that it's more dangerous to drive than it is to fly. So I think there's always going to be that like fear in flying, but it's really, I feel safe all the time. There's little turbulence moments here and there that scare me, but for the most part, even turbulence makes me feel at ease. And it kind of like rocks me to sleep a little bit, so that's probably the worst part.
So the flight attendant process is you have to apply online, and the application opens every couple months, and then once you apply, then you go and interview in Houston. Once you get accepted into the job, you can go to a 7-week training in Houston where they teach you about all the different information about being a flight attendant, and you learn a bunch of safety, medical, emergency information, and then you graduate and become a flight attendant.
Well, I always say there are 4 careers that young people start at a very young age: police officer, firefighter, doctor, and pilot. So our program is designed to get young people's imaginations going as early as the 8th grade. Did you know that you can get your flight certificate long before you get your driver's license? So the sooner the better.
So the benefits from these are mostly are all high school students, mostly seniors in high school. The benefits is giving them the insight to what this industry is all about, and to give them an option that they can create a career path for themselves to move forward in the future. Well, Shades of Blue, I'm being a retired airline captain for United Airlines after 42 years. We started this organization in 1999, so it's been in operation for a little over 25 years now. And it was with the idea of taking airline pilots alongside of engineers and scientists and educators from our working environment into the students' working environment to make it relevant why they are learning what they're learning. And we just didn't want to go into a classroom, tell a student, hello, look at me, I'm an airline pilot, be like me. But we wanted to create a pipeline where we can get the students in the pipelines and be able to mentor them on a long-term basis, track them all the way through college, and once they graduate from college, then we run their resumes right into the HR departments.
I recommend you to get involved. Go to ourshadesofblue.org and sign up as a member, and someone will get back to you. And as we have programs that come into your area, just recently we left Baltimore and opened a chapter there. We'll be going to Ohio soon, and then Atlanta, Georgia. So as we come into your community, we announce that on the website that we have and invite you to attend those events. You know, today, I noticed something today that just really touched my heart. When we do the flight simulators, we have flight simulators in the back, and there's about 10 of them. And for the first time in one of our events, and we do these all over the country, the room is full of young ladies who are excited about being in front of the simulator and flying the jet. What that tells me is that there are young ladies who are interested in joining the airlines, and this is a place for you to be a part of. So continue to keep that imagination going. And so when you hear about STEM education, our platform is designed to take what you learn in the classroom and show you how and where you can use it in the marketplace. And that's what we will continue to do.
Schools can get involved in Shades of Blue by contacting me directly at the captain at Our Shades of Blue or info@ourshadesofblue.org.
I would motivate them by asking questions, being aggressive, not taking no for an answer, always finding different avenues. One of my mentors told me that the hardest thing that I would ever do in life was becoming a pilot, and I didn't believe it because I was like, well, I learned a whole nother language. I learned Japanese at age 22 because I had to live over there. So I thought I could do anything. And what I learned, it wasn't actually the pilot schooling that was going to be hard. It was navigating how to finance it or dealing with the FAA and just like other interpersonal issues. And so my advice that I give to like my mentees as well is never, ever, ever say you're going to quit. You've always gotten too far to quit, and there's always a way.